Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Carol. I'm here at South by Southwest for the world premiere of Bled Neon to talk a little bit with the cast and crew. But like you're coming back to film now and you work in television so much, I wonder if you feel different like working in these two mediums, if it's different to you as an actor approaching to your characters, like both in television and in film.
It is. It is very different because TV is long form storytelling. You can kind of let your characters marinate on things and let things develop. Whereas a movie is a beginning, middle, end, so you have to kind of plant those triggers for that arc to come around. Whereas TV, you don't think that far ahead normally. You let it happen. Movies, it's a different concentration and a different actual way you work. TV is very fast-paced. Movies slower. There's a lot of waiting. And so different.
Yeah, and we're thinking of preparation. This is an action film, so it's very physical. I was wondering of how much of like your own stunts are you doing? How did you prepare for all of that?
Oh God, I do too many of my own stunts, and I got pretty injured on. I'm not going to say this one, but I get injured often. Today, I feel good, but I've had torn rotator cuff. This is last year. Torn rotator cuff, torn meniscus, 3 broken bones. My whole leg went black, everything. And now I'm healed. So that's the way it goes. You just have to bow up, and people don't understand that action is like an athlete. You get injured, but you heal.
Hey, yeah, that's so great to hear. And last question, do you have any advice for us film students that are going into the industry right now, or like how to work? Is there a work ethic that you like, for example?
Don't quit. People quit when there's only 10% left to go, and you get so discouraged. Don't let them break you down. Your voice is valid. Stay true to it, and people will want to hear it. Don't try to do what you think they want. It won't translate.
That's great. Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you. Hi, I'm Carol. I'm with Sneak Peek. We're a media outlet from UT Austin, so we're in college right now.
You're in college?
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to know, like, you're someone who works with the action genre a lot. How does this movie stand out with like your past experience, like working with fight sequences and like doing stunts?
I mean, are you working like on film or journalism? Sorry, I'm like super interesting.
Yeah, we are film students.
That's awesome. Congrats. I'm happy to be here with y'all.
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool. Like it's different. It's like, I mean, y'all know right now you're doing your thing behind the camera. You're doing this. Like when you're doing independent stuff, the budgets are different. So that affects everything. So like when you're doing action and you have a bigger budget, like you have so many resources. You have this rehearsal, this stunt double, all this time to rehearse. This wasn't like that. So you have a little less time, and you have to really get into it. You have to really zone in, and everybody's got to be like a family. So the way that we did this action was very bare bones. It was very minimal. I have one of the best stunt doubles ever. He's becoming one of like my besties. Like actually, Cozy Baskin. He's gonna love hearing his name. Consider. He's got the light eyes. He's like, I love the guy. But we like bonded. We bonded so much. Everyone supported each other. Action requires a lot of focus, a lot of discipline because it's dangerous. You're wielding weapons, you're wielding objects and stuff like that. So it's it all feels more like, you'll know this later in hindsight. It all feels more like when we were back in college. Like these are the best days of your life. Like right now, your creativity has to be like that. You got to figure out on the spot. You got to pivot. Like for example, I know that you went like that for a second because of the volume. Like we got to figure it out. This is loud right here, but you got nothing else that you have to figure it out all the time. You have to be on your feet. You have to be resourceful. This that you're learning right now, this is the most valuable. Shifting, troubleshooting, picking yourself back up. Indie filmmaking is like that. You have to make do with what you got, and more often than not, you're gonna have to do this. So like, congrats to y'all. Sits behind the camera as well. Like, super proud of y'all.
Yeah, and so you also went to like art school, right? So yeah, do you have any advice for what we should be doing in college right now to be on your shoes in the future?
I mean, you have to be present for your training. You have to be present for what you do. Remember, I'm assuming this is your dream. part of your dream, right? Like, so like understand that every day. This is your dream, so soak it up, like, and be present with it, and keep, because you're going to have to reference this feeling a lot. Because once you go out there, you got no structure, you got no teachers, nobody gonna tell you what to do, nobody gonna wake you up in the morning. Did you do your homework? You're gonna have homework, but nobody's gonna tell you what it is. Nobody gonna tell you that you got a deadline. You know what I mean? So like, be present, like soak it up, understand. And I'm gonna be very specific. You're a female. You're both females. You're POC. Like, there's margins, there's fringe, and things are more difficult, especially for people of color, people of French, for women in this industry. So you gotta understand. Nothing's gonna be handed to you. And it's not like it's just passive that nothing's handed to you. Things are going to be taken from you. No, let's just speak the truth. So you got to be ferocious. You got to never know for an answer. And you got to be just wild. I am wild. So you got to be resourceful and keep following your dream. If this is your dream, don't contemplate anything else.
Thank you so much for thoughtful responses.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Love to all the students.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah. First question that I have is, this is an action movie. Everyone has been talking about the fight sequences, and how was choreographing and shooting all of that?
It's extremely difficult because there was not a lot of time to do any of the fight sequences, so they moved rather quick. But luckily for me, I wanted to keep them really scrappy. It was the style of what I was after, so you just gotta adapt and make it work, right? Like, you're moving quick, but you go in, you own it, confidence, authority, have authority, know what you want to a certain degree. I mean, you find things on the day, and yeah, you just make it work.
I'm really curious about the use of music in this. You have a big background with music videos, and the composer with this is also like helping to pace the film. Like, how was collaborating and like defining like the rhythm of the film through music as well?
Well, it started, we always knew we wanted like a consistent heartbeat through the film. I knew it wanted to be fast-paced. I wanted the audience to feel like there's a sense of urgency with the main character. So creating that soundscape was like, that was kind of the rule of thumb, like the North Star at the beginning. Then the composer and Zoo got together, and they started exploring sounds that were urban, sounds that were coming off of neon lighting, things like that, and then working that into a rhythm and something that was going to move quick. So yeah, it was a evolving process over the course of 2 years.
That's so cool. And as we're in college, we're both film students. Do you have any advice to us as we are like also starting our careers and hopefully be in the South by stage at some point?
You're not too good to shoot a project. Explore, shoot everything, try different things, collaborate, and keep your head down and throw away your pillow because you won't need it for a long time. You don't sleep in this industry.
It was inspired by my real experiences growing up in Las Vegas and some of the people that I met. And the jumping off point, I guess the inciting incident of this movie did happen to me, which is that, I lived in Las Vegas. I grew up with someone who was my best friend and stepbrother. So he wasn't my blood brother, but he was my best friend. Our parents got married. We lived together for years. We were actually born on the same day in the same year.
That's crazy.
But we weren't blood brothers, right? But for years and years we lived together. And I won't go too deep into it, but he passed away quite tragically, unexpectedly. And I received that news out of nowhere via text from a friend who was a mutual friend. This is before my family knew. Understand, it's that fresh, right? And so that trauma, that experience was so interesting. And going back to Vegas, reconnecting with the people that I sort of felt like I left behind, trying to figure out what really happened to him, that stuck with me for years. And I was always trying to figure that out and process that. I was really young, I was 22. So like 15 years later, I had this idea. I was like, there's an opportunity to tell an amazing story about one brother going home to reconnect with his friends and his family and the people he left behind, finding out that the death was a murder, and going down the rabbit hole for 48 hours to try to figure out what happened, and in the process transforming. And that was really it. And so yes, of course, I brought in consultants, people that I grew up with, friends of his, and brought the filmmaking team in to be able to like learn a bit more about that world and the characters and the places. And that was the jumping off point to it, yeah.
So in the production, you were more involved in following that story, or were you doing like producing things as in oh, I'm gonna find budget, I'm gonna find location?
No. I was involved in every aspect of it, and I worked very closely. You know, I ultimately brought on the director of the movie in the very beginning of the process.
That's so great.
And then together we found the writers that we wanted to develop it with. Then we developed that script. Then we cast the movie. Obviously, you know, we put the financing together. We financed it. And so I was on set, you know, throughout the entire production. And no, it was one of those A to Z. Like when someone asks me, like, what is producing? There's a lot of answers to that, right? Because a producer can do a lot of different things. But in this particular case, my producing team and we really produced it. I mean, from beginning to end, all the way through, and that's not always the case with every project.
Yeah. You know? So, as we're in college, do you have any tips for us future filmmakers?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, there's two things that matter, largely, right? You got to have perseverance because this is really, really hard. Super tough. There's going to be a million reasons why you can't pull this off. There's so many issues, so many problems with our industry, the way it's set up. There's a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of macroeconomic issues that affect it. So it's that like core commitment to the story and the perseverance of it. And then the other is going to be a little bit of a businessy thing. You gotta be able to understand where audiences are going. You got to understand like the genre interests, and you got to forecast a little bit in the future. When you're making a movie now and it's not done for a few years, is that going to be appealing then? So there is some like kind of thinking into the future and trying to predict what people want, and then combining those two things.
That's so. This movie has a lot of fight sequences. How was like preparing for the physicality of all it?
It was awesome because it's part of Megan, my character's kind of DNA. She was always a survivor, so like her physical activity is just as part of her identity as she is as a human. So it was really important. We did a lot of training, a lot of sort of training with all the sort of weapons that we were using. Like it was pretty intense.
I heard that. And I know this movie's very musical. Did your background with music help it out in any way, or were you just going with it?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when I first spoke to the director, Drew, his first thing was a playlist, and that was really cool. I've never had that before, and it was like a great way to like get the character right, you know? He already had such a direct vision and concept, and it was very like clear what we were trying to achieve. So it wasn't as difficult. Now for me, I was just doing the back work with the character.
Yeah, that's so cool. So nice talking to you. I don't want to like hold you. Thanks for watching Sneak Peekers. Make sure to stay tuned to our YouTube channel to see our full South by coverage.